Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SATAL 2020. I'm your host, Moltar, and today we are back again with the Diamond League. 64th Aggressors taking on Phoenix Task Force. It's going to be a good one. Anapa versus Maycomp, so medium distance, maybe a little bit closer proximity, but should be a hell of a lot of fun. Billy will be here in just a second. I'm just doing these intros by myself because I think it's a little bit easier. But Diamond League again. Then we'll jump back to Gold League on Tuesday. So we had Diamond League Thursday, then today, and then we will be back to Gold League on Tuesday, and then we will do a mishmash. No super cut yet. It's supposed to be, Alpha has told me that it'll be out here in, hopefully after the first round. He's running a little bit behind. Shoutouts to Yaga for dropping all the bits, Gordo B for dropping the gifted sub to Southern Jumper, and I think did somebody else drop a sub? No, it's just Yaga spamming the bits. Much appreciated, brother. And Comey came in with 64 bits a couple times. Much appreciated, guys. That goes straight into now the 3090 bank, which we will talk about once we get back. But sponsor reel coming at you. Then we're going to do the Syria trailer, and then we will be in the sim, or pretty close to. Bill will come in and say hi. But then we will jump it into the match, and we will get going. So, guys, catch you back here in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm now joined by Billy. Didn't want to make him just sit there and say nothing while I was doing the intro. But Syria trailer we just saw, because Syria came out on Wednesday, which, Billy, I think you've been doing a little bit of too, playing on Syria the past bit. It's been a solid map. Something I will say, though, that we figured out, and I may have said this on Thursday, is that the tree slider and the view distance slider, they don't do anything.
Yeah, I saw Jabbers posting about that yesterday.
Yeah, I mentioned it to him, and he confirmed it.
5 nautical miles,
and he confirmed it. I was like, man, they don't see it for 5 miles. He's like, hey, let me check that out. And he did the same thing, and he got the same result. So buildings will pop in at 5 miles, trees will pop in at 5 miles, which I think is part of the reason we're getting such good frame rates. So one thing I noticed when I came in, right when I loaded into the map at, like, I don't know, off the water at like 15,000 feet or so, I was getting like 160 FPS over the water, but that's because nothing rendered in. So when I got low in the trees and I was flying through the trees, I was at 60. So nothing was on the map at that point. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. But how you been? You been good?
I've been pretty good, man. Enjoying 2020. Enjoying that Syria map this week. It's definitely been a interesting and busy week for flight simulation, I think. A lot of news and all kinds of stuff coming out. The Hind development update they put out Friday was pretty promising. It looks like, I'm thinking October, November maybe for that. We end up seeing that start making our way, maybe a pre-order or something along those lines.
Yep.
Hopefully the Kiowa after. I know that they put out some stuff this week for that.
I hope the Kiowa was good. I hope it is. I hope we move away from the Gazelle flight model.
Yeah, I mean, the Gazelle is the pariah that it is in our community.
Pariah is a good word, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it is definitely that. You know, people have their varied opinions on it. I think really where you stand on that kind of is where you fall as far as like what your demand for the realism within the sim, right? As I enjoy that type of stuff when it is provided, but I'm not the type that
I enjoy flying it. I
have a good time flying it. You know, fighting with it. It is frustrating though when you fight it and it you know, for a while the Mistral seemed to have that like uphill maximum G-force energy type deal going on, where it felt like people could just sit underneath you and blast you out of the sky. That I felt was a little frustrating. I think at the end of the day, people exploited that quite a bit at the end of the day. So hopefully stuff like that isn't in there, and they're a little bit more watchful of those type of things, which it sounds like for the most part they are. I am really excited for that helicopter though, being buddies with Elgato. You know, he's been test flying and stuff, and hearing, you know, all the details and watching his vids and stuff has been pretty cool. I'm definitely excited for that. It's a bit more technologically advanced than the Hind, but different capabilities. I think the Hind is like our first transport. At the end of the day, it sounds crazy to say that, but it's like if you look at what's coming with the you know, the dynamic campaign stuff, the ability to logistically move stuff from one place to another.
Well, the Mi-8.
The Mi-8 as well, but I think this serves as a much more well-equipped for doing both of the tasks, right? It's more multi-role, I guess you could say.
Mi-8 isn't bad. I mean, he can carry
it's not,
some
no, I guess I don't really
combat.
have a ton of time in the Mi-8.
I think
I only recently started learning it in an effort to get ready for
I just hope that whatever benefits they provide the Hind with becomes part of the other aircraft that are able to carry troops into combat and stuff.
Yeah,
we were speaking about the Gazelle. One thing that I hope, and it's not that big of a deal to a lot of people, especially people that don't play multiplayer, but one of the biggest qualms that I have with it is when you kill somebody in a Gazelle, they just disappear and you don't get a kill for it. That probably shouldn't bother me, but it does.
From what I notice, a lot of times they get hit, it gets damaged, they don't die. Like, I don't believe you can kill the pilot with a missile strike through the rotor blades.
Oh, so the aircraft actually just disappears. It just, boop, it's gone.
See, I've not noticed that. I've from the times I fly, I notice I get the helicopter gets disabled. I either crash and explode and die, or I crash land and reslot and nobody gets anything.
Maybe I'm just
that feels like the more common route with it, at least as a pilot, someone who's flown it on, you know, PvP and stuff.
That's quite possible. Gordo B comes in with the resubscribe for 12 months. Says pumped for Diamond League, man. I'm pumped for Diamond League, especially because this is my squadron flying today. Gordo B then gifts a sub to Shifty Mover. Gifted another sub to Combs. Gifted another sub to Southern Jumper. And Gordo, I don't think I missed any. And then Yaga's just been making it rain with 64 bits at a time. He's just been throwing like 2 quarters, a dime, and 4 pennies at me every couple minutes, it seems like. And then Shifty Mover rated with like 70 or 75. So welcome to everybody that came from Shifty Mover stream. If this is your first time here, this is SATAL 2020. It's Squadron Air-to-Air League, where we pit squadrons against one another. Today is 64th taking on Phoenix Task Force. We were away from Diamond League for a while. We saw a resurgence of Diamond League on Thursday. I think that was Eclipse Task Force taking on Golden Crown, with Eclipse Task Force taking it in kind of a funky 1-0 in a best of 3. But today is going to be, again, 64th Aggressors taking on Phoenix Task Force. So I'm excited about it. I'm just happy to be in Diamond League. I don't know how this one goes. I didn't fly in this match. I looked ahead in the TAC view just to see where these guys take off. But let's jump into the sim, talk about what everybody's carrying. We got some news about NVIDIA's upcoming 3090 that we can share a little bit. I mean, you guys probably all know it, but I think it's news to me. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, maybe talk about some PC hardware, because these guys are going to have a few minutes to take off. But let's jump into the sim and see how these guys are going to get on. All right? All right. So we're here in the sim now, sitting at Maycop. 64th is going to be taking off from Maycop. Phoenix Task Force is going to be departing from a Napa, I believe, if I remember what I said earlier. So it's a Napa taking on Maycop, medium distance, medium to close distance. It's really a lot of flat terrain today, so we're going to have to see if that plays a role. There are foothills to the south, but a lot of flat terrain in the northern part of the Caucasus region of the map. So today is going to be a lot of flat terrain. We're going to have to see if that plays a factor, because once people get launched on, they can't just duck the missile behind a hill. So if you get in too close, you're probably going to pay for your mistake. Something else to keep in mind, it is, from what I understand, it is the A weapon restriction, which means 120Cs, Mark 60s, Mark 47Cs, no AIM-9X because those are banned, but AIM-120Cs and Mark 60s. From what I'm seeing here, we've got... what is everybody taking? I think I see at least 3 16s, an 18, a 14, and I'm missing somebody else. Somebody may have not loaded in yet.
I didn't look at the TAC views. I did look at the airframes though, and it looked like it was 16s, 18s, and 14s for 64th, and then I think 16s and 17s for Phoenix Task Force.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't tell what the other aircraft is. Looks like 2 18s. Yeah, 2 18s, 3 16s, and a 14 is what I'm seeing. Are there AWACS? It depends on if the teams fly on an AWACS mission. So how it works in Diamond League is about half the missions have AWACS and half the missions don't. So since the teams go through a banning process for the missions, teams are able to determine, do they want AWACS? Do they not want AWACS? It's up to them really to determine what type of scenario they want. In this one, I'm pretty sure there are AWACS. If I go to the other one, I'm going to check the F10 map. Yeah, there are AWACS. So if we take a look at the F10 map here, there are AWACS. You can see them moving around, but there are AWACS. So they do have data link today, not just PPLI. There is data link.
What are the 2 locations?
Maycop versus Napa. So really far north, some foothills to the south of the AO, but lots of flat land. Lots of flat land.
Plenty of gas for those 16s and 17s.
Yeah, you're looking at a separation between the 2 airfields about 114 miles. So ingress of about 55 to 60 miles for both teams. So
I like it.
Not horrible. Not horrible.
I want to see these guys have the most gas to duke it out over there. So I like seeing the shorter choices. I think it's different. It's certainly not. It's not bad or anything by that stretch, right? It's just different. But I do like the shorter matches. I feel like they can really go at it a little bit harder just based on the fuel mileage.
Sure. I mean, I like them both. It just depends on. I like the variability because it forces teams to be able to fly in all scenarios. I think it forces teams to be a bit more well-rounded than just flying a single type of scenario.
That skin is awesome. Is that a Air Force Tomcat skin?
I think it's like a flanker style Tomcat skin.
That's triggering some Navy guys out there right there.
Yeah. It's
that is definitely triggering some Navy guys. There's no doubt. Where's Navy Dog?
So 64th, we went the skin style of like Splinter or Aggressor. So all of our skins are what you would see on like Red Fort aircraft.
I see. Okay.
It's typically what we've adopted. So that's what you're going to see today. But it's the Aggressor style of livery is what is on all of them.
I remember the flanker skin that looks similar to that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
That's what it is. So if you look at the 16s, which I'll move over and grab them. The 16s have that blue, like more modern digital livery, and I think the Hornet has it as well.
Interesting. Nice. Okay, I've definitely seen those 16 skins before. Those I've definitely come across. Those look quite nice.
I like it. Makes me feel good, even though nobody else can see them. When you fly them, it makes you feel like you look pretty.
That would be something for DCS to fix. I don't know if that is worth whatever frame or performance hit would come along with it, but
I don't know. I mean, look at how
to see.
Arma does it with their logos.
Yeah, that's true. It's
with
able
the logos.
To kind of share that. But isn't that you have to almost upload? Isn't for your patch to be displayed? It has to be on their site, right? It's like one of those things.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. You have to upload it to their site, but I don't know how exactly it works. I'm not entirely sure for how that whole thing works. I know it works because my logo in Arma was the short bus, and it was a short bus because all I did was fly people into combat, and I just had a big short bus on my helicopter. That's how that went. But let's talk about the 3090. So yesterday night, there was U.S. time. There was some leaked photos of the 3090 supposedly. We don't know if they're real or not. But she's a big boy. Like, she's triple slot. They're saying 400 watts, like double the size of the RTX 2080. This is a big, thick boy. I mean, she got some girth. So I'm curious to see. I'm thinking I've got a 1,000-watt power supply, right? But I was benchmarking my CPU because I changed something today. And my CPU, it's a 10900 at 5.3. Full load is pulling 300 watts. Okay? So the 3090, which I do want to get, is supposed to be, if you overclock it, full load like 400 watts, right? So that's 700 watts just in my CPU and my GPU. And then I have like 8 platter hard drives, 3 SSDs, 2 NVMEs, 12 fans, and I'm just sitting here. I've got actually a 1060 daughter card for other accessory displays. I'm like, I'm actually to the point now where I'm maxing out a 1,000-watt power supply. And I think I'm going to go over it if I get a 3090. That's just going to be too much. So I got to upgrade something else.
Okay.
My wife's going to look at me like, what do you mean you need a bigger power supply for this? And I'm just going to look at her and be like, babe, these are my needs. You should have known this when you married me. But we'll talk about this after these guys depart. We're going to wake up with some jet sounds in the morning. Looks like 64th is taking off, so we're going to turn this up and listen to these guys depart. We will be back with you in just a bit. Oh, Billy's a Discord box. There we go. We fixed him. What
Yeah,
are your
it's
anticipations for
just-
today, Billy? Let's take a look and see what everybody's flying. Looks like JF-17s and 16s for Phoenix Task Force, and then 16s, 18s, and a 14 for 64th. Do you think the 14 is going to play a role? We do have Mark 60s. Last Thursday, it didn't really do much. There were a lot of 14s on Thursday. I think there were 6. We didn't really see a lot of missiles hitting, but that could be because the teams knew how to defend those Mark 60s or the Mark 47s because of scrimmaging against your own teammates. When they're in 14s all the time, you get a better idea of how to defend those missiles, right? So do you think the 14 is going to play a role?
I'm not sure here. It looks like the 120s are already leading off. Was that the first shot right
Yeah,
there?
they are coming off the rails. There's a 120, so we're already inside a decent range. They're coming in from 30 miles from 35,000 feet at over Mach 1. Yaga's doing a crank and dive right now as he breaks away.
Dives for both of them, I think.
Yeah, they're both cranking and diving. So 64th operates, and I'm going to be able to give some more insight into 64th because I fly for them. But 64th operates in a Stinger formation. So they're going to do two ships up front with 2 trails that are going to give them better radar coverage in the back. So even when this lead 2 ship turns around, this guy's going to still have his radar pointed towards his adversary for a while. So then hopefully when he turns around, this 2 ship that's already egress will then turn around. So you've always got that grinder, always having somebody pointed at your foe. Quick catch up on subscribers. So we've got Zap Japan. I have no idea how to say your name. I'm sorry, I butchered it. With the tier 1 sub, and then Big Oz with the prime sub. Gordo B gifted a sub to G.I. Joe. 104th Bullet rated with 12. Much appreciated. Gordo B gifted a sub to Skittles. Gifted a sub to Dave. Yaga's been just making it rain still with cheering, so I really appreciate that. And I think we're caught up. We're not missing much right now. There's guys coming pretty close together here already. Separation of 13 miles already up to the north. So guys are not afraid to get in close. You can see that these missiles are carrying a decent amount of energy. Is Paxter in any type of trouble as he ingresses here? He's diving away now. And I didn't mean to push that button. Wrong button. But that missile's getting pretty close, within a mile or so, or half mile, behind Paxter's aircraft. And I don't think it didn't have the last bit of oomph to reach out and poke him in the butt. Nobody likes being poked in the butt. But, maybe some people do. He was taunting him. He was putting his butt out there. Just taunting him.
Damn, we got level 2 hype train going.
Oh, guys, still dropping stuff. So Gordo B,
44% to level 3.
Gordo B came in and dropped another gifted sub to Mike Lansing. Much appreciated. Hopefully this doesn't ruin my... Looks like the supercut got finished, so I'm putting that in the back. We got a Phoenix coming in onto Falcon. I don't anticipate that being able to do anything, but we're going to see if we can grab it. So here's the Phoenix, 2,300 knots, ingressing onto Falcon. I don't anticipate that being any type of threat, but we're going to have to see. This northern element, I'm going to go to split screen just so you guys can have a better idea of what's going on and you're not missing anything. This northern element is getting pretty close. And yeah, that Phoenix is trash. She burned all of her energy there when they I don't know why they nose down like that, but they burn all of their energy there rather quickly. I don't know why they do that, but they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's
But
definitely not optimal.
this is pretty uncharacteristic of Diamond League, as these teams are already very, very close to one another. Very close to one another. And now we've got an ingress situation of Yaga headed into a 2-ship and Combs and Rage headed into a 2-ship with Ollie and Toxin already firing. There's a 120 launch from 25 miles. Another Phoenix was launched onto Falcon. That thing gets trashed there pretty quickly. But Yaga's getting in here close. Let's take a look at his aircraft. He's getting in here close. Can we see his adversaries anywhere? I don't see anybody. We're going to go to a split screen so you guys have a better view of what's going on. There goes a 120, launched 10 miles. It's going to go off there to the right onto a now defending NSK. I don't know how to say that name, so we're going to go to his view. And can we see that missile? There it is, inside 3 miles. NSK, you have to defend, or you're going to get face-miled. And facials, oh, man, you had to see that one coming, but it was still unwanted, and he gets taken down. And Yaga is responsible for causing the first death of the match. NSK goes down. And Phoenix Task Force, I guess we missed somebody, is down to 4 pilots. I don't know who we missed, but somebody else went down. I think it was Pash. Pash ended up getting taken down. And I don't see... Looks like everybody's starting to reset. So Pash got taken down. So that was a twofer there, really, really fast. Let's take a look at the map. But twofer, Pash got taken down, and NSK got taken down, and that happened pretty quick. Billy, was that just him not seeing it? Looked like he just flew straight into that.
Yeah, that's tough to tell. They got their altitude was starting to get low there. He may have been sensors might have been blocked a little bit for part of that.
Quite possible. That's a good point. That's definitely possible in that, he was low, but he was also going through a bank turn, so I kind of wonder if maybe the angle, because we all know that the sensors aren't going to pick anybody up, and a double tap coming off from no wheels, and this is going to be rough because whoever he just launched on, I saw a couple indications of people that were in here close, and it's Paxter, and Paxter's got a couple Phoenix coming in on him. Let's move over to his view. I'm going to see if I can grab the Phoenix as they ingress. Where are they? Here they are. Let's go to split view. Oh no, Moltar's screwing it up. Where's Paxter? There's Paxter. So now we're on the split view. There's the Phoenix, and bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Paxter gets smashed in the face, and he is the third casualty going down there. And Billy, unless you're going to notch it, there's not much you can do against a Phoenix. And we actually need to pause because there's so much going on. I don't want you guys to miss anything. But 8 Mile Phoenix, you got to notch that, or you're going to die.
Yeah, no, it's fairly important there to try to get out of the way of that bad boy.
So we're down to 3 pilots, and we have missiles everywhere down here to the south, which is why I paused this. So I didn't want to miss anything. I just saw this unfolding down here to the south. Like, there's probably something that's going to unfold because these guys are decently close. What's our distance between here? 5 miles. And these missiles have 2,000 knots, 1,700 knots. That missile's dead. And this one's got 1,100 knots. So Ali is in trouble. He's got this missile, especially with 2,000 knots of energy on it, is coming in on him. And this one's got 1,100 or 1,200 knots coming in on Rage. But Rage is already cold. So Rage is in a bit better defensive position right now than Ali is. We're going to have to see how this unfolds. But we're going to jump to Ali's perspective. I'm going to see if I can position us to where we can see the missiles. Looks like Ali's in a bank turn, so he's starting to break away already. I don't think Rage is going to get hit because that missile's down to 1,200 knots, and Rage is already super fast. I don't anticipate him getting hit, but you know what? We're going to go to his perspective too and just make sure that we don't miss anything. So we're going to go to dual screen here, and we're going to unpause this and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to these 120s that are ingressing. The closest one is, I think, 3.8 miles away. Is it going to cause a problem? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. Here we go. Looks like both these guys are over Mach 1, and they bled all of their energy. Oh, no. Okay. I got to fix the cameras, so we got to pause it again. So one of the cameras paused, and one of them didn't. So I got to let this one fast forward because we're a little behind. So let's fast forward, fix this. There we go. And we're going to jump back to the map because these guys were able to get away from from both of these. And our next guy that's maybe in a bit of, well, this is going to be our main fight, but they were able to get away from those missiles with no problem. So let's go ahead and unpause this. There we go. And see how this continues to develop. So oh, he ran into the ground when he was defending. Oh, no.
That's right.
So he was able to defend it, but guys, Billy, correct me if I'm wrong, but ground's still undefeated.
Ground and internet, I believe, are two heavyweight champions of the world, undefeated, no losses, all technical knockouts.
Right. So Toxin and Falcon are the only two remaining, and we still have all 6 pilots remaining for 64th. Now Falcon's ingressing onto, I think that's X-Man out there. He puts a 120 out. There it is, from 1.2 miles. He breaks away. X-Man responds. So there's a missile on Falcon now. Falcon's now defending and breaking away. Toxin, if we look at the split screen, isn't really doing much down there to the south. Both these guys up here in the north area are going to be able to get away from these incoming threats rather easily. But now we've got Toxin ingressing. Oh, but Yaga's coming in. Yaga, I think, is in a really good firing position in here onto Falcon, excuse me. And Falcon is in a world of trouble. Yaga's coming in just at about Mach 1 from well above him. Drops a couple of flares to make sure there's not an AIM-9 coming in on him. Trying to keep the view here for both these guys. And Yaga just waits. I guess he felt like Falcon wasn't going to be able to turn back into him. 120C off from Yaga. That's going to ram itself up Falcon's behind, and Falcon gets taken down. I saw him release a 120. That's not going to pose a threat onto Comey, but now Toxin has somebody incurring onto him, and he's in trouble. He's trying to get away from this missile that's now inbound on his butt, and he's able to get away from that. I don't know if that was lag-induced or what ended up causing that. That was kind of strange, but now he's merged with Combs. So let's grab...
Seemed to be getting a little wonky there, and I'm not sure if that was a track thing or what that was.
Oh, and that 120 hits the oil derrick. Combs is all over the 6 of Toxin here, puts out another 120. That one's going to take him down, and I think Toxin actually got hit by something else. But 64th just commandingly dominates round 1. Not a casualty. Not a 1.
Yeah, no, that Phoenix task force seemed to just press right into the trap there. So it seemed. Maybe being a little bit, maybe being a little bit more reserved, I think might have been in their best interest in that one.
Yeah, it seemed like the situational awareness and the mutual support that was provided by 51st, who I used to. I still do that every once in a while. By 64th. Gave them a huge advantage. I think that the other downfall to Phoenix's task force's position was that they seemed to ingress in those situations one at a time. Like, they never committed together, which was really, I think if they would have done that, they would have had a better shot. But they were always finding themselves isolated. And when you're isolated, coming in against a 2-ship, you're in for a rough time, right? And another thing that was happening is Phoenix Task Force, I think, was finding themselves in what they thought were good firing positions, but who they were firing on was actually leading them into a better firing position for 64th. There was a lot of bag and drags. Something else that I think happened is there was really no respect for the Tomcat. I mean, we saw guys getting inside 8 miles at decent altitude against a Phoenix. A Mark 60 carrying Tomcat, which, guys, you're going to have a bad time. Let me rephrase that. You're going to have a bad time. It's bad times will be had for all, especially in the butt when the telephone pole is out there. Anyway, let's have it looks like these guys are going to RTB. Let's jump to the TAC view. And, Billy, I want to know when we bring up this TAC view what you think was going on here and what you think these guys could have done a bit differently. Well, while I'm bringing up the TAC feed, why don't you give me your lowdown on what you think? We already heard what I thought. What do you think happened, and what do you think they could have done?
Well, I believe I just stated that. It looked like Phoenix Task Force got a little too aggressive there, pushed in a little bit further than they should have on a few occasions, and really weren't in position to support each other. It didn't really look like there was a formation there that stayed intact.
Yeah. Do you think if they were more defensive and waited, they would have had a better time, or what do you think? I mean, I feel like if they would have waited, they would have found themselves in a position where they would have just been pressed, especially since they didn't have a Tomcat. I mean, they didn't have the longer pokey stick.
That's very true. I think they needed to play a game of not necessarily moving into where 64th wanted them, which I think we would agree is the teams coming straight at them makes life easier and makes that blind aggressiveness is easy to kind of combat at the end of the day. But I think when you draw things out a little bit more and kind of force them to adapt to playing that weight game and seeing what you're doing as opposed to just kind of running right into it. I think that would have been in their best interest there.
So what happens here? They're they stay pretty far back, but it just seems like 64th smells blood and they just get really aggressive once they realize that Phoenix Task Force is just shooting and turning around. First casualty comes from NSK. He eats a 120 from Yaga, and that's from 8 miles. That's a good shot. Yaga's at 15,000 feet. NSK is at 10,000 feet. That's a good shot. Yaga's at Mach 1.2. That's going to be rough to defend. So, good shot. SD-10 just doesn't have the juice to be able to equalize and do the same thing that the 120C does. So, he's the first casualty. And who goes down at the same time? Who else went down? We're missing somebody. I'm missing. Oh, he's up here to the north. Never mind. I was just had half the screen showing. So NSK gets taken down. Bloop. And then... Oh, and then Shike gets taken down here to the south by Rage. And that's another good shot. How close was that? 6 miles. Rage is at 15,000 feet. Shike's low, but he doesn't... The only way you're getting away from this missile, ladies and gentlemen, is if you notch this, right? And he just goes right past his notch. He's not fast enough to be able to outrun that. Rage has got the right firing position. He's high enough. It's not going to pose a problem for his missile. And he's got to notch that, and bloop, he gets taken down. So now there's 4 guys remaining for Phoenix Task Force. This is when the Tomcat comes in. So No Wheels launches a barrage of AIM-54s onto Paxter. And in this situation, we've talked about this before, you got to think ahead of your airplane. If you're getting this close against a Tomcat, you've got to be slowing down because you're not going to outrun a Mark 60, Billy, right? You're not going to outrun it at 7 miles. No. It's not going to happen against a missile that can burn for a minute. No. So he needs to be slowing down. Here comes the Phoenix, and he just doesn't get into a notch. He just carries this like 45-degree angle and then just gets rammed up the behind. And a face mile is bad when you don't see it coming, an unknown facial, but an unknown ramming, I think, is even worse. Because you're not prepared. You're not lubed up. It's just bad. You're in for a bad time. And that's what ends up happening. So he gets the unknown ramming. Then this is the one that we were trying to catch, and he dodges these missiles, but he just flies straight into the ground. All he does. So defends him, but guys, if you defend him and then get attacked by a ninja squirrel, you're dead anyway. So you got to be able to. Yeah, ninja squirrels.
That's Bullet. Squirrels will get you.
Bullet, is that true?
Bullet. We're always fighting them squirrels down low. Suckers will jump up and grab. Seems on this Syria map like they hang out higher in the trees than they used to too. Because I feel like I've been flying and all of a sudden one just jumps up and gets me. It's like I wasn't even near a tree, but I guess I hit one.
So I don't think there's too much to say about that. And a couple guys have already landed. So this round is all but done. But we're gonna just grab everybody else as they come in because this round was pretty short. So we're just gonna grab these guys as they come in. switch our cameras here. What do you think they need to do next round, Bill? I mean, we know that you think that formation, but what does Phoenix Task Force need to amend or change in order to try and come out and equalize this at one apiece?
I don't know. I think that's tough here. I think with the airframes they've chosen, they've kind of put themselves into a tough spot. I think 64th's chosen a pretty wide range. You know, having the ability to take 6, you can really cover a lot of bases that way and cover a lot of areas. I think tough here. I think no matter what you do, 64th is going to have something to counter it. I think at the end of the day, you need to kind of make them do something they don't want to do, which I believe is you know, playing that waiting game. You know, I think we've seen, you know, back when you guys used to fly for 51st, some of the way those diamond matches would develop, where you don't give them the looks they want. You know, that's, I think, should be number one priority, is just not giving the 64th guys the looks that they're looking to get, to get in those distances, right, to get in those parameters. So knowing those parameters those guys are looking for and trying to stay out of it.
That makes sense.
Waiting for them to become complacent and make a mistake on their own and try to capitalize on it.
So you're saying
I don't think there's a lot, though. There's, at the end of the day, when you're talking about teams as good, there's not a lot you can do besides either try to force them to make mistakes by, you know, coming in aggressively, which I think Phoenix Task Force just tried and failed pretty spectacularly at, might I add. I think it's really about having more of a plan and kind of sticking to it. It just didn't feel like that was the case first round.
Well, I think if you're going to try and take that, you got to make sure that you're disciplined and you're committing in not just by yourself. Like if you're going to try and outweight them,
have a buddy.
You just, well, in any situation, not just outweighting. I got to rephrase this. Not just outweighting them. You've got to always try and have a buddy, because if you get pounced on by a 2-ship and they turn you around, and let's say you fire at one of them, there's still one of the guys coming at you that's still hot, and you're just going to get run down, especially when you're against 16s. You can't really get away. And let me rephrase that again. Especially when you're against a Tomcat with Phoenix, you're not going to be able to outrun an AIM-54. It is just not going to happen. So I think it's really important that if you're going to ingress, you have to ingress with the wingman, with the buddy system, buddy, going for whatever. What was the fat Camp Hope? You got to make sure you got your buddy, right? Buddy system.
Indeed.
And if you don't, and guys, this goes not just for this match, it goes really for everything. If you want to make sure that you're going to come out with more odds of taking a win or killing people without dying, going in with the wingman, even if it's a 2v2, is a lot better. DS Session asks, is there a schedule? So kind of. We go in chronological order. If you go to splash1gaming.com/SATAL, I guess the SATAL command didn't work. There's a panel down below with SATAL or Splash 1 Gaming. It'll take you to the Splash 1 Gaming site. Go to the SATAL section, and that will give you the team schedule when they actually fly. But how we're streaming this is we're just doing this in chronological order. So we're doing from top to bottom. So we're on the August 1st dates right now. So whoever would take place after this match down in the Gold League or in Diamond League would be the next streamed match. So then we would go to the next date. So there's no set streaming schedule. It's the same as the flying schedule. We just do them in order. We're just a couple weeks behind is how that's being worked. Bill, I'm going to get this supercut set up. Any other notable things you want to point out about that match while I get this supercut going?
Yeah, look pretty textbook to me. Pretty straightforward.
I mean, what do you think 64th could have done? I think there could have been a bit better utilization from the Tomcat.
Kill guys quicker? I don't know.
Kill guys
pretty darn
quicker.
Good, dude. What do you want?
Kill guys quicker. All right. Teach their own. I think there could have been better utilization of the Tomcat if I'm being picky. Maybe better utilization of altitude. I think they did pretty well. I'd have to go through and
I'd agree.
Figure out what was going on. But guys, we're going to jump to the supercut for this match. Alpha Whiskey finished it, and we will be back with round 2. I got to get the track set up, but enjoy this. I have not seen this one yet, so enjoy it. I'm going to check it out with you, But round 2 coming at you in just a minute. 64th is up 1-0. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in the sim now with Phoenix Task Force at Maycop. Thanks for Alpha Whiskey for pumping that one out. Got a little bit behind there, but he was able to make it happen. So he was able to get us in there and get that supercut done for today. But we are here again. 64th leading 1-0 over Phoenix Task Force. Are they going to clinch it in 2, or is Phoenix Task Force going to be able to equalize here? Billy, you think they're going to be able to come back?
I wouldn't be putting my money on them if I'm betting right now. Unfortunately, it's not going on Phoenix Task Force after what I saw in that first round. Hopefully, they were able to kind of make some adjustments after what they saw 64th doing. Mm-hmm. And, like you said, I think coverage is a far more, important note from that whole thing. There wasn't a lot of coverage on their side, at least when guys were making runs and trying to go in and get a shot. There really wasn't a lot of coverage.
Right.
When they started to go in on those runs. So, like I said, I think, with teams like this, it's important to throw looks at them they're not used to seeing, right? You have to make guys kind of start to question what they're seeing and adapt on the fly, right? I think that's hard for anybody to do, but if you can take advantage or capitalize on even a little bit of confusion, I think in there you might be able to get
absolutely
snagging one kill. And we talk about how important that is to get that first early kill when it's unexpected. And I think no team's immune from that, right, at the end of the day. So I think if Phoenix Task Force can find a way to do that, they may have a shot in at this round. But
sure,
I'm gonna like I said, I'm not putting my money on it based on what I saw.
Good points. Quick shout outs. Let's get caught up on what's going on the stream. Yaga and Comey continue to make it rain. If they were at the strip club, man, instead of throwing dollar bills, they're throwing quarters, but they're doing it repeatedly, and it is hailing right now on the stage. So much appreciated, guys. This just goes, it's now getting funded to the 3090 fund. The 3090, I think, is the next step to bring in more cameras. Then I'm going to have to go to like some genetic mutation lab and grow more arms. But, you know, more cameras. I think the 3090 is going to be the next step in that path. Shout outs to Gordo B for gifting subs to Sandman, Strike, Old Boy, Death Hunter, and Jaster. Then gifted another sub to Lagand. Then gifted 2 more to Maver and Frackles. Then gifted another 5 to Motorspin, Vegas, Monzamon, Schwein. I'm not even going to try. And Johnny, much appreciated. And then, did I miss any other ones? I think that caught us up. After all of the hail being produced by Komi and Yaga. It's getting hard to cast because of how much I'm getting hit in the face by these hailstones. Just lots of it coming in. So I think in order to take on 64th, you got to throw something at them they're not ready for. And that's going to be difficult to deal with, right? You got to make them work at something. If you're going to allow them to just fly how they normally do, I think you're going to have a bad time. You're probably going to have a really, really bad time. But you just got to be ready and try and throw something that they're going to have to think through and that may put them on their back foot. Gordo B gifted another sub to Steve. I'm going to call you Steve-099. So welcome, Steve-O. This isn't your first time here, so welcome back. But, Billy, is there any situation, we keep going back to this, but is there something that you can think of that maybe they could throw at 64th to maybe give them a chance?
I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. You have a better understanding. Maybe regale us with what you think the weak points of 64th are.
I don't.
Maybe explain to everyone how you think anyone could beat 64.
Something we've struggled with in the past.
The rest of the league would benefit from
something we've struggled with in the past has been highly defensive posturing, where you talked about this earlier, where you don't commit into things. But I think we've gotten around that because that was how we lost when we won SATAL in 2018. That was how we lost our only match during that time period. So, yeah. But we figured that out. We recognized that. I don't know. I'm trying to evaluate what I struggle with, but I've learned a lot since then. I don't have a tendency to overcommit. I think it's just going to be, you got to out-team us. You got to out-team the 64th, and you've got to be in a better cohesive state than the 64th is. Because I think a big part of it, guys, is teamwork wins championships, right? If you're able to work together and communicate together, and this is why I love the 64th, and I'm kind of tooting my own horn here, but why I like the 64th is because we're able to communicate effectively with one another. We know where each other is, and if you're able, I think the best way to beat us is to be able to do that better than us. And I think that's what SATAL is all about, and I think a lot of the guys are making strides towards that, and a lot of the teams that even came in this year, I've seen vast improvement to moving to that position. So I'm trying to get caught up on chat. G.I. Joe says, Moltar, please give us a heads up when you're going to show us the big Moltar face. Is that scare you? Am I scary? Crips doesn't want me to shave my beard until SATAL's over. Really? Do I get anything for doing that?
Is it a playoff beard if you start growing it before the playoffs?
I don't know.
I think you got to start fresh when the season
starts. But the playoff beard, I feel like, isn't going to be long enough. Like the playoff time frame isn't long enough to be able to make it have a beard of any consequence. DJ D Sessions says, Moltar, what kind of time would have someone heading straight to a 120? What kind of time? I don't understand. What do you mean? Can you re-elaborate? The Dark Knight says, this feels like when you were in a merge with Komi and Moltar. Thanks for teaching me a lesson, guys. If you're serious, I'm just trying to impart information onto you guys that maybe will make you better virtual pilots. Shaman says, very informative streams. Hi from Russia. Well, I'm glad we're able to reach into Russia, into the motherland. Navy Doc Moltar, how about a squadron fight with you and Billy flying in the match? I'm going to fly later this year. I just haven't had time. My daughter has taken up a ton of my time, so I just haven't had time. I usually do fly, and Billy has flown the matches that I've flown in when we did them live. So I usually...
Stream the matches.
Stream them. So I usually do fly. I just didn't in this one. I flew in one earlier this year, but we redid and re-flew against Phoenix Task Force because of some of the stuff that ended up happening with Diamond League. But I usually do fly.
Yeah, I know. I've kind of stayed out of it. I've rather avoided the whole, flying and casting, and I'd rather just kind of stay on this side of the things, if you will. I fly with a group called Athena International, and we come from like the virtual carrier air wing milsim background. So we do a lot of PvP, but I think for us, it's more of like the air ground element, that whole thing.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think maybe once this dynamic campaign thing comes out, what could come from that as far as maybe how that can be adapted for esports and that type of thing, I'd be curious. And I'd like to see esports bring in the strikers and factor in that type of stuff and allow those guys to have a place to go to show off and do that type of stuff as well. Because I do think, not only now multi-role being such a huge part of DCS in general, as well as all the beautiful striking aircraft we have and the helicopters and all that stuff, I'd really like to see the esports for DCS begin to encompass all that type of stuff. And I think once that happens, you'd probably see my group, Athena International, start to kind of partake in some of that stuff. I don't know. I think you'll always see me probably stick on this side of the camera, if you will, for the event, for SATAL and DCS world events and that type of stuff. But we do other events. I think 104th puts on some events we do and that type of stuff, and those are usually a good time. But yeah, I think we're more of a air to air, air to ground type squadron. So, and
even then, competitive flying, it's just not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not saying that there's better pilots in SATAL than there are in normal PvP. I'm not saying that at all. It's just different, and it's not what everybody wants to do in their spare time. So it is what it is. We enjoy it. Some people don't, and you go from there. So I don't want anybody in chat to think that, I think poorly about anybody that doesn't fly in SATAL. I don't at all. It's just I like competitive flying. It's just what I like. So I've always been highly competitive in sports and stuff, and it's what gets me going in the morning. Jet sounds and competitive DCS is, I guess, been me. But
the more you drink, the more dynamic I get. There you go, Bullet.
I am looking forward to, Billy, like you just said, the dynamic campaign, and or the dynamic side of DCS. Not that it's going to be a dynamic campaign, but just the dynamic side of DCS. And there are some things that I'd like to put in, that I think could be cool. So hopefully that will allow us to do some things. Maybe not totally dynamic, but I have thought about some ground attack elements being incorporated. Maybe a single round thing, because they may take longer than these. Some SATAL matches take a long time.
I think it would have to be, no, it wouldn't. You wouldn't. I don't think you could you couldn't work that into this format. I think that would kind of deteriorate from the overall entertainment of it. You'd need a new type of way to do it. That's why I think the dynamic campaign will allow for that. I think seeing something where maybe like Blue Flag, where like you provide updates and maybe stream certain days of the month on a server like Blue Flag, where once we get a dynamic campaign, you'll be able to easily create something like that and showcase that type of thing, where this is a battle that's been taking place for the last 4 weeks. Here is where we're at. This is today's. We're going to show you a slice of today's action, and choose the times where there's
that could be cool. Like maybe make it so it's not competitive, but just kind of more of a what the multiplayer community is doing. That could be cool. It's a good idea. And I thought about that. It's just
following a conflict, right? Because I think that dynamic campaign will give us the ability to tell a better story, right? Like telling a story in DCS right now is very difficult without creating a lot of visuals and stuff to kind of supplement all that. So I think maybe with the dynamic campaign where you have these metrics and these things to kind of showcase and put forward as results more so than just kills and deaths type thing. I think that will allow for a bit more of an entertainment value when you talk about like a conflict in DCS world and how to kind of showcase that to a group of people who's not participating in it, Looking
at this 120, it is going to space. It looks like it lost lock. It's at 70,000 feet
that NASA
and
model.
still climbing. So I think that missile is pretty much dead. But these guys are starting to ingress. That was the first missile that came off the rails. Let's kill the cameras. Let's get rid of those. But first missile that came off, that thing is totally trashed. So don't worry about it. Yaga's probably not even getting a warning right now because it's now at 80,000 feet. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It is.
It comes down. It might.
No, I don't know where it's going, but it's still going up. So she's still going up.
Do you wait? Does space station kills count?
That was tested. The F-15 can shoot down satellites. That is the thing. But Bullet says it's gone Kerbal. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that was the thing, but it is now. So 120s are being launched by Toxin and Paxter. Haven't seen anything come out of this northern group yet. Let's change this music, and I'm gonna get the volumes up a little bit louder this time. But 120 now coming in on Yaga. Is that going to be a problem? He's egressing now. Let's see if he's going to be able to get away from that. He's over Mach 1. Missile's still 5 miles behind him. That is not going to do anything. It's not going to be able to catch him. It's not going to be able to pose a problem. There's one coming down on Combs. If we look at the map right now, there's one coming down on Combs. That's not going to be a factor. So these guys are defending early and defending well. Nothing's really been launched from 64th onto Phoenix Task Force. Toxin is now launching a 120 onto Hermit from 26 miles. Toxin is sitting at 25,000 feet. Tau Hermit's already cold. Don't really see that doing anything as Tau Hermit's already moving away. No Wheels launches an AIM-54 on an NSK. And that, let's take a look. Let's ride along with that AIM-54. So here's the AIM-54. Coming down from 47,000 feet. NSK is still hot. Try and get split screen set up here for you guys in this. So NSK is the hot target out there still. I think the right camera is a little bit ahead, so we're going to pause the left one and allow the right camera to catch up. There we go. So now we're caught up, and NSK gets pulverized by that Phoenix. I thought he was going to be able to get away from that one, but he definitely does not. And that Phoenix just reaches out and demolishes his aircraft. And I think we lost somebody else at the same time. And now Toxin has a missile coming in on him. Is he going to get taken down? That's an AIM-54. And he's not very fast. Is that going to be able to hit him? And Toxin gets taken down. So No Wheels in the 14 just demolishing people with those Mark 60 telephone poles. Just ramming people. The unexpected ramming people. It has commenced. But man, that is unfortunate. So 3 pilots now. We missed somebody get taken down. And now Yaga putting a missile out onto Ali. That's going to be tough for him to be able to get away from. He launches in response. There's the missile. 3 miles, 2 miles, 1 mile. I think he waited too long to try and get a response missile off on Yaga and face-miled. He loses his left wing. He gets taken down, and 64th is just dismantling Phoenix Task Force. And at the same time, I think we lost somebody else down here to the south. 2 people are left. Falcon and Sheik are now left for Phoenix Task Force. It is a 6v2. Trying to get my bearing here on what's left. So we have Falcon down here to the south, Sheik up here to the north, and we've got a 3-ship for 64th to the north and a 3-ship for 64th to the south. Looks like the northern 3-ship for 64th is still doing a decent job of maintaining their shape. You can still see that Stinger element. They're a little separated here in the lead, but you've got No Wheels as the trailing Stinger element back here in the lead 2-ship up here. Rage is supposed to be the trailing element or lead element, the lone singleton for the southern 3-ship, and then you've got the 2-ship of Yaga and Combs. So Falcon now is coming into a position. Is he going to be able to get away from this? He's coming head-to-head against Tau Hermit. There goes the 120 from Tau Hermit. From Falcon. Tau Hermit put a 120 out onto Falcon. It's 5 miles out. Tau defends early. Falcon is now breaking away. 120's in 3 miles, and you guys can't see this. There we go. You haven't missed anything. Missile's still now 2 miles away, 1.5 miles. He's going to be able to get away from that one just fine. I don't anticipate that being any type of problem there. So we still got the Southern 3 ship, the Northern 3 ship. 64th doing a good job of staying together there. Looks like finally Phoenix Task Force has combined. I like that Falcon has now regrouped with Sheik or Sheik. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. I'm screwing this up. Yaga now puts a 120 out onto, I think that's going to be onto Sheik, who is not very fast and is at 15,000 feet. He gets the pit bull warning. I don't see the missile yet. There it is. 4.5 miles out. 3.5, and that's going to be pretty easily defended. So we're going to move away from him. That's not going to be any type of threat. Now we've got an AIM 54 coming onto Sheik. Where is that? It's behind him. 5 miles away right now. Rage puts a 120 out onto Falcon. So we're going to go split screen here. Falcon hasn't defended yet. He launches on Rage. And Falcon is now madly trying to defend this missile. Tons of chaff coming out. There it is, 2 miles behind him. AIM 54 now on Sheik. It's 1.5 miles away. Is it going to have the energy to close? I don't think so. So it looks like both of these guys are going to be able to get away okay. Let's jump back to the map and see how everything's looking like it's unfolding. So still decently separated. Now we've got 3 2-ships, Tau Hermit, No Wheels up to the north, Yaga and X-Man in the center, and then Rage and Combs down to the south for 64th, and then Falcon and Sheik are the only ones remaining still for Phoenix Task Force. Rage and Yaga are now ingressing, creating a nice separated element. I like this separation. It makes it very difficult to double sort. And Phoenix Task Force's Falcon and Sheik are still running. Falcon is now turned hot. In on Yaga. That's going to be rough. Yaga's got the altitude advantage from 8 miles. This is going to be tough. Falcon looks like he's recommitting. I'm going to try and get the map view here. Falcon got in really close. Here comes the 120, 4 miles away. That should have enough juice to be able to reach out and poke Falcon in the butt. Still catching him. 1.5 miles now. Still got the energy. Falcon looks like he's providing or trying to do all kinds of defensive maneuvers. 0.5 mile now. And 0.4 miles. I think he's going to be able to get away from it. But at the same time now, Sheik has got a missile coming in on him from Rage, from danger close. And Sheik gets taken down. So Sheik is gone. And now Falcon is the only one left. And guys, when you're by yourself against a 6-ship, it's a recipe for bad things. I mean, Billy, give me your professional opinion. 6v1. What do you see happening?
Not a whole lot for Phoenix Task Force, that's for sure.
I mean, nowhere to hide, nowhere really to recommit effectively. And Chad has just pointed out he has no missiles.
Yeah, it's
Rough time is about to commence. Bad things are about to unfold. He has no missiles. Yaga is coming in from high altitude. Does he see Falcon? He does. He's coming in on him from Falcon's left side. There goes the 120 from high altitude. Looks like another high combatant is coming in from Falcon's front. And Falcon has multiple missiles all over him. Falcon just is... This is bad. One missile takes him down. There's a second one. He's still up. He got hit by one. There's a third. Third desinks and hits the ground. Fourth, he loses a wing. Fifth is behind him. Sixth just got launched. 7 is up for his left. Look at all the missiles. They're everywhere. This is like a Bukkake scene. This is bad news. He is rained on by missiles.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All of those Phoenix Task Force guys seem to have some decent stuff going on there. I'm not sure what that was about.
You guys heard me.
All over the place.
I made that sexual reference. It happened, okay? It happened. Gordo. That's got to be a real NATO expression when you just launch all the missiles.
Yeah.
Dude got gang raped. I mean, that was, whoo, that view right there with all those missiles, and we'll see it in the TAC view, which I'm going to bring up here in a second. They fired all the things. Things were everywhere. And I mean everywhere in that situation. So we'll see it in the TAC view. But that was just, Billy, that was rough. I mean, from the very onset, people were dying rather quickly.
Yeah, no, it seemed very similar to the first round there. Just didn't seem to be able to come in and really get us together for Phoenix Task Force.
Did I miss somebody dropping? Okay, Jazzy dropped 1,000 bits. For some reason, my brain told me it was bigger than that. I was like, shit, I should have been said something more about that. And then Jazzy came back in and dropped another 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, brother. I don't want you to think that I'm minimizing it. I was just thinking, wait, did I get that number right earlier? But thank you very much. So Jazzy came in and contributed another 1,000 bits to the war chest. Much appreciated. But let's jump to the TAC view and see what went down. So this was just bad for Phoenix Task Force from the get-go. The Phoenix right here, NSK just flies straight into it. And when you try to defend a Phoenix and wait until I don't know how late, and you're still at 30,000 feet, that's bad. Bad news. Telephone
so is
pole.
this Phoenix Task Force's first year in Diamond?
I think this is their first year in general.
Yeah, no, it's a little element of varsity team beating up on the JV team here. It definitely kind of feels.
Oh, Combs got the first kill down here with Paxter. So with the 120, flies and doesn't defend that 120. It just seemed like they weren't defending early enough, and I'm gonna chalk this one, guys, up to nerves. Nerves in SATAL are greatly underestimated, and they are a real and heavy thing that teams have to deal with. So one thing that gives the teams a significant advantage, and honestly in PvP in general, that gives guys that have been doing this for a long time an advantage, is that they know what to expect. They know how to deal with the nerves. They may get butterflies, but they know what to expect. They know how to deal with it, and they can put forth close to, if not their very best effort. So I'm going to chalk a lot of this up, Billy, to Phoenix Task Force, this being like their first match, their first time in Diamond League, their first time in SATAL, to nerves. And I can't overemphasize that enough, guys. That's, or I can't emphasize that enough, it makes you do some strange things.
Yeah.
So first two casualties come early, and then immediately a third casualty as Oxen gets taken down by another AIM 54. So the 54s from No Wheels are just boom, boom. It's like he dual-fisted telephone poles and just threw them at the same time. So his Rio did an excellent job. No Wheels, who was your Rio? Was it Fox? Who was your Rio? But he dual-fisted those telephone poles and just... Phoenix Task Force took an unseen butt ramming, and those are bad. It was Vatty. Good job. Your Rio did a great job, Vatty. So 3 guys are down. We're already down to a 3v1, 3v6, and then immediately following that, Yaga kills Ali. So it's like, I'm going to say, and somebody in chat said this earlier, that Phoenix Task Force tunnel visioned, and then were trying to wait to get their shots off, and them waiting is what ended up getting them killed. Like, Ali waited to get this 120 off and then defended, but by that point, Yaga has already launched from 8 miles. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you don't defend immediately from a 120 that's this close, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you got to be moving before the missile leaves the rail there. If you're not starting to head towards the notch, you're in trouble. The amount of time it takes you to pull that energy from the vector you're on to the vector you need to be on is just going to get you killed.
Well, and you can outrun this missile from this distance, but Under
You
Mach
need to
1.
already be started running away though. If you're starting to run, if you're almost flat-footed when it starts heading at you, there's just no way. You got to already be.
You've already got to be fast. You've already got to be turning. Yeah, and it's launched from 7 miles, and then he waits, and he waits, and then his missile comes. You can see how much further Yaga's missile is, but look what Yaga does. So as soon as he launches, he defends. Boom, launching, and Yaga's at 15,000 feet and Mach 1.2. So you guys may think, well, 0.2 of a Mach isn't that big of a deal. Dude, it is the difference between dying and not dying 99% of the time if you're trying to outrun something. Under Mach 1, because now he's under Mach 1, he has to get through the Mach wall, the sound barrier, and he's already 0.2 of a Mach slower. So the missile's got more energy imparted it from Yaga, and it's got to catch a slower contact. So he's in trouble.
I think sometimes people get that, quarterback stuck staring at his pass instead of worrying about protecting himself about getting hit. You can't watch the missile go. Sometimes you got to shoot and worry about getting yourself out of the way. Not saying that happened here, but I see it with guys sometimes.
Well, and look at the Japan says it's pronounced shake. Okay, shake. Good to know. I'll remember that for future casts. But look at where the missile ends up for launch from Ali on Yaga. It makes it like half the way before it's not going to reach him anymore. And so that early defensive maneuver, you can see how much of a difference it makes, and the airspeed, how much a difference it makes. So he gets taken down. We're now down to a 2v6, which is a recipe for a bad time. These SD-10s are launched from a long way. They get respected. They turn Yaga away, which is good. It buys Phoenix Task Force a bit more time. Then the bad things start to happen. Another thing that I'll point out, guys, is look at the trailing 2 ship for 64th. Look at their altitude, 21,000 feet, 17,000 feet. So as the lead guys are ingressing on their opponents, you'll notice that they're descending. So they don't want to get caught at the higher altitude. But the higher guys are providing a really good picture, right? So it's really good that these higher guys are higher. And then if the lead 2 ship of Yaga and Rage turns away, they've got much more energy that can be converted from that altitude into airspeed that they can impart under their missiles. So I like that positioning by them. Yaga, I guess, preeminently defends. He thinks ahead of his airplane, preeminently defends. Falcon does a good job of defending this close range 120. He gets away from that with no problem. This 120 that comes in on Shake, how close was that when it was launched? This is another thing of just waiting too long. I mean, this is 7 miles when it comes off the rails at 5,000 feet, and he just doesn't defend early enough. You can see he waits a couple miles before he starts to defend because he's trying to get a missile of his own off. And more often than not, if you do this, you're going to die. And he dies. And there it is. And then all that's left is the Amram Bukaki. And Falcon actually ends up eating a couple missiles before he gets taken down. So he takes a couple facials, and then he just gets filled up to the point that he can't take anymore. And yeah, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I said it. That happened. That came out. Anyway, that's it. So let's jump back to these guys landing. Looks like they went in for an overhead. Billy, anything there on that last one that we saw?
No. I mean, comments all very similar to the first. I don't know. I mean, what could you tell me there as someone from 64th? What do you think Phoenix?
I think a lot of it came down to. I think a lot of it came down to nerves, man. I think almost all of that came down to, just not being associated with what competitive PvP is like, because it's just different when you go in and you can't respawn. That's going to impart. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was playing Counter-Strike, there's a difference in how you feel when you can't respawn, when when you're dead, you're dead.
Decision making is totally different. It's totally different, as it should be. You can't think the same way you do when you go into those PvP servers. It's just not. It's apples to oranges at that point. Right.
So I think I'm honestly gonna say, and I've said it repeatedly, that the big part here I think was nerves, and that they didn't know what it was gonna be like, or they knew it was gonna be like. They're just not used to to dealing with it yet,
There's
and
just
and
not a
they'll
lot
get
of
there.
experience,
I
think,
think
at the end of
it's
the day with it, you know?
because everyone is like this. No matter how good of a pilot you are, no matter how long you've flown PvP, once you get into a thing where you know if you die and your team loses, a point's going to go up on that scoreboard where you're down one. It brings something else that you're not used to into the cockpit.
They got some bad luck drawing you guys, I think, as their first match there. I think that should be probably pointed out there too.
Yeah.
For making that the first one is a steep hill to climb there, just coming into thing.
Yeah. I mean, a team, we've been around the block for a while. So, but I do want to point out again that I'm 64th or Phoenix Task Force did great. I think a big thing, it was just nerves, the butterflies and stuff. It gets to them. So they did great. 64th came out with the ass whooping though. They didn't lose a pilot. There were no deaths for 64th. It was 6 kills, 0 losses in both rounds. So I want to point that out. That was a schmammering that happened there. But we've already been through the TAC view. And do points carry over stream to stream? Yes. Japan, yes, they do. Yep. The bot keeps track of all that.
And who do we got? What do we got coming up Tuesday?
Tuesday is going to be... Who is Tuesday going to be? Tuesday is going to be, we're on the second page now for Gold League. It's going to be Harpia taking on number 15 Battle Axes. And then Thursday is Task Force Trident against Joint Task Force France.
Man, we got a bunch of new Diamond League teams this year, huh?
Those are Gold League. We're back to Gold League.
So we're back to Gold League.
We're back to Gold League. So we're back to Gold League for a little bit, and then Diamond League doesn't come back until, I think, next week, the week after. And we'll see Golden Crown taking on TAW. I'm pretty sure is who we're going to see there. But we're getting caught up. We're getting caught up, but there's a lot more Gold League matches than there are Diamond League because there's more teams and there's more leagues. So I think Diamond League there's only 6 teams. So that's one division or just over one division. There's 4 divisions in Gold League. So there's just a lot more matches in Gold League, which is why we see them more. But guys, it's been a pleasure. As always, again, make sure you tune in on Tuesday for more Gold League action. It's going to be again, Harpia taking on number 15 Battle Axes, and then Thursday is going to be Task Force Trident against Joint Task Force France. Huge shout-outs to all of our sponsors for making this possible. For anybody that's interested in 1v1, there should be an announcement coming probably from Mover here soon and myself. I got to confirm some stuff with Mover for the Fight for Honor, the Folds for Honor charity event for 1v1 BFM. We're getting the pricing aligned and all of that stuff, so that'll be coming here soon, so be prepared. There will be an entry. It's all 100% going to charity, so just know that there's going to be a little bit of an entry because it is a charity event that'll go along with that. I think there is some talk, though, about... I'll save it all for the announcement. We'll go from there. Anything in closing, Billy?
I think I'm all set. Good to go.
I don't think I have anything else. We'll do... shirt giveaway.
Oh, yeah. I got one on. It's called the Bolt shirt on.
Oh, that's cool. I like that shirt. That's like retro-esque. That is actually. Right? That's really cool.
Minimalistic design on the Pappy lights.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. So we got to give away a shirt. How do I do this?
You got to do they pick a word with the command rather. I think right.
Oh, how do I edit this? Edit. I'm getting there, guys. We are going to do a giveaway. It's not open yet.
For that.
Timer. We'll do 5 minutes.
Yep, and hoping to get some more new designs here for the fall as well. Trying to work on some new products, possibly some new hat designs coming soon. Maybe get Moltar in a DCS World Events Wild Weasel hat over there. We'll see if I can't figure something out there.
I'm always open for new hats.
Yeah, no, I'm working. Hats is one of the things I'm working on new designs for now. I like these hats we have, but I'd like to get some more varying styles, designs, and stuff like that. So yeah, got some new stuff on the horizon for the fall, and I'm trying to work on another brand for the civil aviation side of things. So we'll see what I can't come up with there. May have another set of shirts you might be able to have access to here coming up. So
all right, guys, the giveaway is open. The word to enter is !weasel. So it is going to be like this, or it is raffle. Maybe it's I think it's weasel. Raffle, weasel. Why did it let people in with raffle? It's raffle. What the hell, bot? It's God, I can't even fucking talk. It's raffle. Do raffle now. Raffle. Do raffle. I typed something in, and then the bot's like, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm doing whatever I want. Fucking dumb.
Oh man.
You got 4 minutes up. The timer's 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. So again, the word to enter is !raffle, as everybody is typing right now. So yeah, 20 people in so far.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm open for any hats, man. More hats. I'm always in need for hats.
I'm waiting on some samples to come in from different vendors on just the hats and like the patch. I want to try to do like a patch, like some better quality embroidery and all that type of stuff. So we'll see. I got to kind of get a feel for what the quality is from some of these different vendors and go from there. But hopefully adding dry fits back soon. Dry fit shirts. I know those were real popular. We lost our vendor on that for a little bit.
What a jerk.
Yeah, that happened right as like the pandemic thing started, and like stuff got really weird with the vendors for a little bit, and it was challenging to kind of keep things flowing and moving. But things have really kind of got back to normal as far as that sense now. Orders are moving out at the same super fast rate they were prior to the COVID thing starting. So starting to feel a little bit of normalcy come back on the business front after all that stuff went down. It definitely took a big hit for a little bit there, but starting to see things pick back up, which is good for the holiday season.
Yeah,
hopefully we see that across the board.
Gordo B gifted a sub to you, Billy.
Oh, thank you.
You are now an official sub member of DCS World Events.
Gordo B, the sub god, handing those things out like Oprah.
He's getting his own emote.
Right? He deserves it. He deserves.
He does.
He brings a lot into the channel at the end of the day, from not only just giving away subs, but bringing people back and keeping people interested. Because I know probably there's some people he's giving subs away to where may not think about it again, but you see that notification come on, you're like, oh wow, SATAL's coming on. So
Gordo
helps. If you got a friend, right? If you got a friend that might be interested in it, that's the best thing you can do for not only SATAL and me and Moltar, but for DCS as a community in general, right? I mean, we're small, we're a very niche community, so like expanding and growing is going to just make everything better for everyone. So I don't know, since I've gotten into DCS, it's, I guess, one of my missions. It's one of the reasons I chose to come on here and start doing this with you, is to help promote DCS, to help expand the community, bring more people in, because it's just going to mean more good things for everybody that's in DCS and plays DCS. So hopefully we can see that happen. I think we were on a really good path, and I think we had that nasty spell of patches for a little bit there, and I feel like a lot of people walked away from it in frustration. And I think you're starting to, it's things like the Syria map are coming back. I really hope we see a module come out soon. That I feel like that F-15E will have one of those impacts on the community where like ton of people come back in and become immersed in. And that's got to help with sales overall in general for ED, because one module like that brings people back. They're going to buy the stuff that they maybe didn't buy when they were stepped away from it, if you will. So I don't know, I want to see those numbers. I look at that number on the server player count daily when I go in there, and like just to see where it is now to where it was a few months ago and where it has been, it's like you really want to just keep working to get that number up. The higher we get that number, the better off everybody is at the end of the day.
Again, shout outs for the raffle that's going on. There's only 24 people that have entered so far, so if you guys have a want to enter !raffle to enter into the giveaway for a Wild Weasel apparel t-shirt, so make sure you do it. Samurai, you missed everything except the raffle. If you want to join the raffle, you guys are making fun of me for waffle. Shut up, Skittles. Didn't want you as my friend anyway.
Maybe waffle. I like
just
waffles.
Because I have a speech impediment.
There you go.
Doesn't mean you should make fun of me. God, jerks. Waffles are good, like a real
Waffles are
Belgian
really
waffle.
good.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like,
God.
like fresh, hot Belgian waffle, nothing like that, man.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
so good, so
Little
good.
chocolate syrup and some maple syrup on there.
Mm-hmm. I don't like chocolate syrup. I just like straight up butter and maple syrup.
You know, maple syrup, I believe, worth more per barrel than oil.
Well, it's not
Real.
hard with how cheap oil's gotten.
It's true. That's been driven down quite a bit. That's a fact.
All right, so we are going to pick a winner. You guys got 1 in 25. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Hamza Bakhor. You win a shirt.
Excellent.
Make sure you post
And,
in chat so that we know you're here. So you didn't just enter and then walk away. Because nobody liked it. There he is! So, Billy, will you send him some info? Like, just to get in contact with you?
Email. I sent him an email to,
Okay, good.
To send his info.
Billy's already on top of it. So, guys, shirt giveaway's done. We will be back on Tuesday. It is, again, I already forgot who's flying. Harpia taking on number 15 Battle Axes. We're going back to Gold League. Gloves come off, backroom brawl. It's going to be a good one. Well, they're all good ones, but, you know, who doesn't love beat 'em up in, you know, a dirty bar toilet? It's fun to bash people's head under the toilet seat. You know, you get chlamydia, you get crabs, so do you. It's just, it's fun time. Fun time. But, guys, that's all I got. Billy's hooking up Hamza, and I think we're going to see you next time. Anything else, Billy? You good?
No, I think I'm pretty good. Ready for next week already. Let's get her done.
I don't have any other community news. Oh, so something that may be coming to SATAL is we may be bringing in the Syria map, where if both teams agree they can fly on it. Bear is working on the missions for me, so we're going to see what we're able to come up with. But be looking for that. We may see Syria in SATAL here soon, as long as both teams agree. It can be a possibility. SATAL slideshow. I've had great frame rates on Syria. Granted, the sliders aren't very good, but it's been awesome. It's been
great.
I
mean, I think they had to do some stuff to factor that in with how complex a lot of the textures and
maybe
the stuff on there is. So,
or it's unintended.
Sure, it might be. Who knows? I mean, there's clearly something's different. So I don't know really what it is. I'm assuming it's that, but it's definitely a performance difference for sure.
It is nice and it's pretty. It's just nice to have something different. But anyway, guys,
the scenery change was nice. Yes, for sure.
That's all I got. Until next time, Tuesday, fly safe in those virtual skies, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.